don't know what that means, that means your soul. So basically I'm just saying, hey soul, how are you? It has been a while since I've been present in this YouTube platform. I just want to share how grateful I am with all the subscribers here and also the viewers who are watching, and I just want to share something with you. I call this the New Year anxiety. We have this urge within us to feel extremely anxious as the new year starts. Of course, since there are fireworks and it's a start of another chapter in our lives, another year, we become grateful, but eventually as the fireworks dissipate, as the silence enters, as the relatives go back to their lives, and as you go back to your life as well, what happens is you have this anxiety asking yourself, like, what now? Like, what am I going to do now? But what we don't realize is that it has been suppressed since December. I mentioned that it's suppressed in a specific manner because December is also a time where we self-reflect. We reflect on the achievements that we've created. We reflect on what we were able to accomplish on that specific year, namely on 2021. But we also remember our mistakes. And we also remember the wasted and lost time that we had because we just didn't feel like doing something. We just didn't feel like being consistent. We just didn't feel like accomplishing a specific thing because we were very busy indulging in our procrastination and other pleasures of life. What happens is that it escalates eventually to anxiety as the year ends, and it's then January 2022. As the year ends, as 2021 ends and 2022 happens, we're left there with this suppressed guilt and suppressed feelings of regret, which then eventually fuel to the anxiety that we're having. When you're suppressing those regrets, telling yourself, I should have done this, I should have been more productive, I should have been more consistent, I should have kicked that unhealthy habit out of my life and try to replace it with a healthy one, well, what happens is that we overcompensate. As the year ends and another year begins, what we do is we brain dump all the goals that we should have accomplished in 2021 and then add some additional goals that we want to, do so that we could be better, we could be more stronger, we could be more healthier in 2022, and we can be called more productive. But overcompensating with the lost and wasted time that we'd had the past year won't really help us out if we're trying to establish realistic goals. We bombard ourselves with so much things happening in our lives, with so much goals, with so much routine changes, with so much habits that we want to throw out and adapt new ones. It actually can be so overwhelming for our brain to function. And that's actually why we have this anxiety when it comes to another year unfolding in front of us. This is actually what I wanted to share with you. So I've created a specific template that we could be able to use, you could also be able to use in a way where we are setting goals, we are setting healthy routines, creating habits that hopefully are consistent and we can actually stick to, by establishing a more realistic process. It's very easy for us to create goals, create bucket lists, but it's extremely hard to be consistent with it and to be able to achieve it. So the point here is not having many goals, not having many habits, but rather filtering the habits that we want to establish in our life, and also hold ourselves accountable by becoming more consistent to it, by setting those realistic habits. I hope you come along with me as I share to you the templates that I've created, and maybe you could use it. All of those templates might not be applicable on your end, but also I hope you could be able to brainstorm, and I hope you could be able to come up with the trackers and the checklists that are helpful on your end and is more feasible on your end. I hope this video inspires you to do such. And I hope you become more consistent with the goals that we have for 2022. It could be a lot to process, but let's take this one day at a time. So let's start. So the first checklist, the first template that I created is the routine checklist. So as you can see, there are a lot of dots. There are alternating dots of a specific color, and these dots represent the days of that month. So this is for January. This is for the month of January. And these dots I will be checking out if I am able to finish a specific routine or that specific activity on that specific day. You can see that my theme here is uniform with all of my social media platforms. It's sort of a moss green and kind of cappuccino latte color, some stuff like that. So for me to be able to be consistent with this, I realized that I have to be flexible with the time by taking out the fixed time that I want such actions to be done, and just settle on the fact of being able to accomplish these actions in the time that I have in that specific day. You can see here that there are two meditation. It's the start of the day and the end of the day. And when I talk about meditation, it's not just about journaling. It's not just also about mindfulness techniques that I have been trying to accomplish in my life, but also my devotion to God as well. I incorporate this meditation time with my time with God. As a Christian, I think it's very crucial to prioritize God before you do anything, and also to thank God for everything and ask for strength at the end of the day. The second is reading. Now, let me be transparent with you. Last 2021, it was either me binge reading books, and that meant not sleeping 24 hours or more than 24 hours just so I could finish a book, or me having a reading slump. So it was not a good balance. I think it was very unhealthy. So I am now challenging myself to read 2 chapters a day, and I think it's a possible challenge. It can be easily done. So the third is work. As you can see, I've created also 2 varying time frames for work in a specific day. Usually what happens is I overwork and then I eventually get burnt out. So I think this will be a balance on my end, not to fixate myself too much on work to the point where I forsake other responsibilities that I have to do, and also have breaks in between. The next is having to work out. So on my end, the past year, I've been extremely active when it comes to physical fitness, compared to the past years that I had. Maybe also it's because I wasn't privileged with time since I was working at a government setting, but I'm extremely happy last year that that's something that I was able to work more on. And I want to be consistent with that. It's not always hardcore exercises where you're powerlifting and stuff like that, or doing high intensity workouts. Working out also means just being able to walk a specific number of kilometers that can make you more healthy. And that's it. Third is getting ready. On my end, I think there's a positive effect whenever I get ready earlier compared to the usual routine that I do, which is after work, that's when I shower. Because on my end, it also gives me a different mindset, as if I'm already going to work or going out, meeting someone, if I am able to get ready early in the morning compared to me getting ready for bed. I think that's what people who are working remotely do as well, being comfy in your PJs while working is such a privilege. But also on my end, I think I become more productive when I am able to take a shower early and also look presentable earlier compared to looking presentable and taking a shower just so I could go to bed. The other thing that I want to be consistent to and have a routine with is the recording that I do. So I have a podcast. I also have a YouTube channel. But I think what's hampering with that specific progress in the content that I make is my laziness and my inconsistency when it comes to treating that specific action. So this time I will be more intentional, and I want to be consistent with recording even when I don't feel like it, or even when I feel like I'm not confidently prepared for that specific recording. So the second template that I created is the weekly goal. So as you can see, there are 5 lines for every specific day, and that's where I will be writing the goals. So my target is to only create 5 smaller tasks that lead to a specific direction or a specific big goal. So that's something that I want to monitor. And also you can see that there are fixed activities for that specific week. I batch content, I create or film a podcast, I film videos. And also, this may seem funny, but I take quick showers, and long showers actually help me calm down. So I place this in my weekly task because on my end, I want to be consistent with the fact that I am treating myself and making myself calm down and grounded by having a long shower, even if it's just once a week. And the weekly task is for me to go out. I am a homebody, I am a hermit. I usually don't like going out. I prefer lying in bed, watching anything that I want to watch, or reading anything that I want to read, and invite the precious people in my life to come over instead of me going out with them in a public place. So that's something that I want to do, which at least just once a week I have to go out. So the third template is the grit tracker. So when we talk about grit, it's passion, it's riveting drive for you to be able to achieve a certain goal. And sometimes grit also means being passionate about a certain thing. So if you could be able to browse through this, you could see that it has a lot of intentions and it's targeted in different facets of our lives. So we have the weekly systems check where it's mostly about planning. We also have things that I want to do around me, which is for the environment around me, because I do think it somehow affects us as well. The environment that we're in, the environment that we see, it affects us as well, and it also influences our mood. And body, how I deal with my body, my relationship with my body, am I treating it right? And also my soul, how do I treat my soul well? So the grit tracker is something that I was able to come up with. So as I try to ground myself more and set intentions, and also try to take care of myself more and the people and the environment around me. So you could also see that there's a deeper clean here, which means this is done at least once a month, and also monthly planning. So there's a weekly systems check where I plan out things for a specific week for each week, and there's a monthly planning where I align myself or realign myself with the vision that I have and the goals that I want to create and the routines if I am really being consistent. And you can also see that I am somewhat tracking the income that I have and the expenses, but it's just general. So for me to be able to see as well the total budget that I have, and a slot or a space for me to take some notes or maybe put in some self-reflections as I'm trying to do this. But that's the gist of it. That's the grit tracker. You can see under the weekly systems check that I update my task board on Notion because I use that as what I call my life hub. Everything is there. And also update my work planner and my board, the one behind me. And also update my tasks and post vlogs plus socials and a podcast, and analyze status and the inspiration post that I have so that I could be able to create content. And also, my weekly systems check involve rounding up all the emails to check if I missed anything and working on my tasks. When it comes to the home, the environment around me, I try as much as possible to tidy up weekly and also wipe surfaces, clean my workstation. Of course, that should be done daily, but it's just a reminder. And then the groceries or dog supplies. So I have to inventory that or check that because I'll have 2 lovely dogs who are extremely hungry, always hungry. And then cleaning up my makeup brushes. So on my end, body care is, to exfoliate, skincare, showering, shaving, styling my hair, and cleaning or painting nails. And also the soul care that I have is being able to meditate, being able to journal, having a specific hobby or being creative, and dealing with nature, enjoying nature. When it comes to the deeper clean, what I mean by that is that it's done monthly. So I change my beddings, I mop the floor, I have a deep decluttering process, and also giving my dogs a bath and checking out if my dogs need to undergo a checkup, and if ever that happens, that's under that pet care as well. For the monthly planning, what I usually do is I set goals. I try to realign the goals that I have, the yearly vision that I have, to check if what I'm doing is still aligned with the values and the goals that I have, and setting some goals and routines and the intentions for the following month. Another is creating a monthly content framework. It's setting intentions for the specific content that you want to do so that it could lead you to that specific goal. And then creating a board calendar so that I could be able to see the days where I missed something or I should be doing something. So creating a community calendar on my end is something that I usually do so that I could be able to look for collaborators, the right kind of collaborators, and also create like giveaways, freebies, and also make the people that are watching me and listening to me feel involved. And also, I don't want to just be someone who's just pushing out nonsensical content. I want it to be educational and also inspirational, and also I want it to influence other people for the betterment of themselves, for them to grow more in a good direction. And also I print the checklists and then I check on my church trackers. I want to treat my church life the way I treat my work, I treat my personal life. I don't want it to just be mediocre or lukewarm. I want it to be also organized. So the fourth is my work schedule. Compared to the first one that I have, which doesn't have any schedule, I want my work schedule to have still have a flexible time, but it's still something that I could stick to. So my work schedule consists of me waking up at 11 in the morning, 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. I'm in the Philippines, but the clients I have, they're in different time zones. So I usually adjust that. And also on my end, I do think I'm more active at night and my brain's functioning clearly at night compared to early in the morning. I usually start working at 11 in the morning. 11 a.m. is when I start socializing, checking on emails, creating my write-ups as a writer, and also script writing and creating content and batching. At 1 p.m., what I usually do is I start filming, and also either it's filming videos for socials or podcasts. 3 p.m. are the emails and calls again, so it's what I call my management hour. At 4 p.m. I start editing the videos and the podcast, and then I check if there are certain videos or B-rolls that I should incorporate with and eventually add that up. What happens at 7 p.m. is that. So I check the details of the content that I've created to check if there are still anything missing, and then add the ones that I need to add. And at 10 p.m. I handle management hour again. So it's mostly emails, analytics, the systems, and also the calls that I have with people in different time zones. The last tracker that I have is my discipleship tracker. So I want to be very proactive and consistent when it comes to committing myself to God's kingdom and the work that is being pushed out in that area. I want also to track down the progress that we have when it comes to the discussions of certain Christian topics that we must be encountering. So I am a discipler and this is my tracker. What I'll be doing is I will be putting up the topics that we were able to accomplish for that specific week in that specific month, and check if we have been consistent and if we're progressing or growing in that specific topic. And below that, I put the prayer requests that they have for that specific week because I want to be aware of the struggles that they're experiencing, and I want to be someone who supports them as well, not just in prayer. Of course, prayer is included, that's why I placed this, but also be able to understand if I could already be of help to that person. Sometimes the prayer requests that people have can be answered immediately if we're just willing to listen and willing to know more about their situation. That's why I am putting that in this template. So that's it. Those are the 5 templates that I will be using this 2022. And if you think that it's a smart move, if you think that you could be able to apply it in your life as well, then feel free. You can use it. Please download it in the link below so that it could be of help to you as well. And I hope through establishing systems in your life, just by creating that specific tracker or following that template, you get to have this sense of control in this undetermined times and also unexpected times. I hope that you get to have this sense of growth where you are trying to be proactive, you are trying to be responsible with your progress. So I hope you become consistent with it. It can be hard sometimes, you might not feel like it, but I hope we become consistent. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.